Well, hello there, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a new pick a card reading. This one's going to be about messages from the universe that you are on the right frequency to hear at this moment. The fun game with this one is to understand that coming in this reading, we will be hearing the message that we are on the right frequency to hear, as in, what is our frequency about, you know? I'm sensing that this one's going to be very fun, very uplifting, but the game is really like an awareness exercise. It's like, what is our frequency at? And within our frequency, what is it that we get to hear? If we like it, good, we keep on going. If we don't prefer it, perhaps we know where we should focus on next so as to shift our frequency towards something that we prefer. So I'm very excited about this one, very interested in digging deep into this one. And yeah, just a reminder before we jump right in, if you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe so you don't miss out when your boy posts new videos like so. That being said, let's get to it. Today we got 4 piles to be choosing from, 4 piles in front of us, and I'm going to be asking you to tune into your intuition, take as much time as you need, pause the video if you so desire, to really tune into your intuition so as to feel what pile we feel the most drawn to, what pile pops up to us, knowing that our intuition is always going to reveal us the message that we need to hear at this moment. So yeah, it may be the number of the pile, it may be the crystal, whichever pile we feel the most drawn to at first. This is the pile which is going to be holding the message you're meant to listen at this moment. Keeping in mind that it's okay if you feel drawn to more than one pile, just probably means that there is, in this case, more than one message for you. And yeah, I'm gonna go over the piles now. For pile number 1, I'm gonna have the Bloodstone. I really like these reds in the stone. For pile number 2, we're gonna have this piece of Pyrite. There you go. Pile number 3, we have the trusty moss agate. And for pile number 4, we're gonna have the tiger's eye. There we go. So again, take your time to tune into your intuition so as to choose your pile. And once that's done, you can fast forward directly to your reading, thanks to the timestamps provided down below, either in the description box or the pinned comment. So you can skip ahead directly to your reading. And I'm gonna see you there. Hey, pile number 1, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're curious and excited about the message as much as I am. If pile 1, if you chose the Bloodstone, that's gonna be your reading. So buckle up, we're jumping right in. Okay, so let's get to it. Please Spirit, what is the message that pile number 1 is meant to be, is on the right frequency to listen to? Okay, got these 2. This one. Woo. There we go. Back of the deck energy, we have the Ace of Wands. We're going to see if that's relevant later. Not used to using the back of the deck energies, but we'll see. Okay, so it's a little bit like this. So the first card was the Page of Swords, which just keeps on popping up throughout all the readings. That's an interesting one. We had the Emperor. Okay. The 10 of Wands, the Hierophant, the 7 of Wands. Okay. And we had the Ace of Wands as back of the deck energy. That's interesting. The Ace of Wands as the overall energy is definitely like, well, aces indicate new beginnings. In the Suit of Wands is like a new spark, a new inspiration, a new plan, a new project. it's the fire energy that we have here. So it's action, it's inspiration, it's excitement, passion, already said it. So it's like a renewal in our spark, a new beginning, a new project, a new action, something that we really want to do. And I'm definitely getting the sense here of more than just a new beginning, a renewal, honestly. Because when we have like these two wands cards, there's a lot of fire definitely going on throughout this reading. It's like the Ten of Wands is the energy of, here in this context, I'm getting the energy of feeling overwhelmed. It's like we're carrying a lot. I don't know the name of this species in English, I've completely forgotten, but this name of this beetle is like, is it the Goliath one or the Titan one? I don't remember which beetle it is, but it's like this one is famous for being able to carry an insane amount of weight. It's like a super strong beetle, and it's carrying all of this weight, including another beetle. You know, it's like just carrying so much on your shoulders. And I'm definitely getting, there are plenty of different meanings throughout every card, but here I'm definitely getting the sensation of feeling overwhelmed, overworked, to the degree that we start, I feel like our energy is starting to get scattered. Yeah, it's like the energy is getting scattered here within this frequency, because we're all talking about like what is like what are you on the right frequency to hear. I'm definitely feeling that perhaps you've been feeling a little burdened, a little overwhelmed, to the degree in life in general, it could be relative to a particular situation or just as a general, to the degree that you feel that the spark of life is just getting a little obfuscated, a little hidden, because we've been distracted. It's like this fire within us has been distracted by other things which are making us feel burdened. I generally feel us like feeling burdened by things which ultimately lead us into being distracted from what it is that just sets us on fire. And the Seven of Wands is definitely feeling like, again, another sense of, here again, another feeling of pressure, but in the sense of defensiveness in this case. Like I have to be protecting something which is cherished, or perhaps there is something, a passion of mine, something that I'm really excited about that I would desire to express more. But the way I want to do it is so, I'd say, unique, or I'm not necessarily hearing unique. I just feel like the environment is not receptive to it. Let me just sip a little bit. But I'm just sensing, yeah, it's like there is a golden sphere, there is something beautiful, beautiful within us that we're wanting to express within the world, and it's just our environment doesn't seem to be able to hold space for it. And that is definitely, yeah, my apologies, is very warm right now where I'm currently. But it's like definitely I'm definitely sensing, yeah, you having a dream in mind, in your heart. It's more than in your mind, it's more in your heart at this point, because this fire energy, this wand energy, is definitely more about passion and excitement. It's not that mental. We have only one card that refers to the mind here, only one sword in the spread. But it's definitely like we have a fire burning within us, represented by this golden sphere, but it's just, it feels like there is a lot of tension because for some reasons, we feel that we cannot really express it as much as we would like it. And two things. First of all, we feel that the environment we're in is not really receptive to it. That's why we're feeling like we're wanting to express it, but at the same time, we feel like we have to defend it because it's something we care about and we don't want other voices and distractions from the outside to bring it down. And on another end, I feel that at the same time, we also feel frustrated and tense because of the fact we are not expressing it. I'm not getting really the sensation of who's the fault. That's definitely not the point here, that which I'm hearing. But it's definitely like there is a dream within us that we are longing, we're craving to express, and that's burning us down from within the inside, and we're feeling so tense and so frustrated because we're not doing it for whatever reason, which may involve our environment. I'm listening. It's not necessarily something we're in control of, or that's definitely how it feels, at least. But at the same time, when we try to express it, it almost feels like it's not well received, or it's like our environment is not a match to what's around us. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of tension, a lot of frustrations, which is definitely antagonizing our spark, which I'm getting. And what you're definitely on the right frequency to hear is, well, that's over. It's like, we're done with that. We're so done with it that it had some very interesting, I genuinely do feel that that's a side message from Spirit, but it's like, there was a reason to why you experienced this. It's like nothing happens at random, everything is always happening for you, and this situation, whatever it is and however it expresses itself and appears in your life, definitely something that really pushed you into developing a strong sense of self-respect, self-love. And even if you don't feel like you feel this way towards yourself, I'm definitely sensing that at the very least, it has made you very aware of how important that is, to be square within yourself, to standing tall within yourself. So much so that even if you don't feel this way right now, you're well on your way. Like, you have experienced things that won't make it possible for you to go back when it comes to focusing on your happiness, focusing on your connection within, focusing on your love, focusing on all these things which stem from self-worth, which stem from a healthy relationship with yourself, self-worth, self-love, and all these kinds of things, and just peace and happiness. So I'm definitely hearing is like, there is a reason to why this happened. Everything is always happening for you, and that is what one of the things, like, this situation really pushed you into realizing that, oh yeah, actually the most important person in this life is forever going to be you. That being said, I genuinely do feel that this is something you've understood. For a very few select of you, not necessarily consciously, but it is something you've understood. So it's like the lesson has been learned. There is no reason for this situation to perpetuate itself, to linger, you know? And that's where the other cards come in. The Hierophant, which I'm seeing like traps in between these two tense cards. Because these are two, like, these two cards talk about our passion, but in this context I really do feel that these two cards deal with the tension, which is kind of antagonizing our passion, our spark. The Hierophant is the card of higher learning. Is the card of something bigger than us. It's like, I really find this mysterious imagery very talkative when it comes to the energy of the Hierophant. And I'm getting two messages there as well. It's like, on one end, it's definitely the calling to a higher level of consciousness, which is definitely 100%, if you're listening to this message, you're on the right frequency to hear this. Don't forget that. It's definitely something that you are on. You're on it. It's like raising your level of awareness. That is definitely something that has been going on within your life lately, especially as I was picking up with the fact that this situation had this purpose in mind. I mean, situation didn't have a mind, but you get what I mean. It's like the purpose of the situation, if you would give it a purpose, would definitely be to make you come back to yourself, or at least make you see how important it is. And that would really make you access to a new level of awareness, seeing things in a more clear way, a little bit more from the above. And that is bringing clarity to the seeming confusion. I'm definitely sensing that if that's not already done, you are definitely imminently getting out of a state of feeling unclear, confused to what the heck is going on, into the state that you're in or just about to get in, which is you are clear about the fact you're unclear. It's like, yes, it's still dark. Yes, it's still a little funny. You don't exactly know, couldn't pinpoint exactly how to do exactly what you want, but you're very clear on the fact of, you're very clear on what you don't know. It's like it's clarity in the unclear. That's what I'm getting. It's like, sure, you don't know, but you're completely aware of it. You're completely aware of what you don't know, which is a completely different energy. Another thing that I'm getting from the Hierophant is definitely like surrendering. It's like this situation. I've just heard this sentence like lately on Instagram. It was from a movie. I think it was from Doctor Strange, but it's just coming, like, this quote is just coming back in my mind right now, so it's kind of relevant. I don't remember exactly what part of the movie it is, especially if you know it. It's like, but it was like one of the main second protagonists telling to the main protagonist that was freaking out because he couldn't figure out something and he really wanted to understand it and he couldn't understand it, and this other character that would appear very much like in this very sage, very mystic energy would tell to the main character, not everything has to make sense. Your mind has brought you far, but it will not bring you any further. And that's definitely what I'm getting here. It's just like this situation amongst, I just genuinely feel that this situation, as awful as it felt, because it really does feel very tense, and I'm sorry for that, I really do feel that it was a real blessing in disguise, because it has opened your eyes to so many things which are crucial. It has like unlocked so many doors within yourself which will lead you to your ultimate happiness. That's what I'm hearing. But one of the things that this situation has brought you is really making you accept that you don't bloody know, that you just don't get it. And that is, I'm hearing, like the most beautiful conclusion that you could have reached. It's like, you don't have to know. You just need to surrender. To just trust that if you have this desire, if you have this burning passion that we were picking up on here within you, it is meant to be expressed. It will end up expressing itself. Perhaps not the way you would have seen it coming. Perhaps the best way for it to express itself is not one that you have ever consciously imagined. Perhaps it's something you could have never guessed in 1,000 years. Perhaps the best thing that could ever happen to you is not something that you could imagine. And as such, it's just time to surrender. Just let it go. Let it go, let God do the work. And I'm definitely, what I'm hearing, like with the Hierophant, is like, you are ready to transmute the energy and get out of the situation, really realizing that this tension that you've been experiencing has a lot of benefits, and you have extracted all the beautiful lessons that were to be found within the situation. Now you're rising above, you're depolarizing this tension. It's like, the situation may not change, and yet it doesn't feel tense anymore. And I genuinely do feel that, yeah, you're just ascending above the situation, just like an eagle who is done trying to walk on the floor and just, you know what, got wings, I'm just gonna fly over it. End of the story, period. And definitely what I'm hearing. But all this process would have taken you to discover, see all of these things. That's why it's like, there is no regrets at all. It's like, this needed to happen. But now you're ready to get over it, to ascend, and realize that your mind will not figure it all out all the time. It isn't always about what you're doing. Sometimes it's also about what you're being and allowing yourself to receive. Plenty of messages here, but I definitely feel that on this side, interesting energies that we got going on. The Emperor and the Page of Swords, how do they relate to what we've discussed now? The Page of Swords is definitely, just like any pages, the beginning of a new cycle, of a new beginning, because it just opens up the court in any issue. It's a new beginning, but to the contrary of aces, it's not like new beginning. It's not the first card of the suit. It's already the 11th of the suit. It's like, it's a new beginning, it's a new cycle, but we've already gone through the 10 first cards cycle. So it's like it's a new beginning, but we're not as naive. And in fact, every page is like about a new beginning, but they're already bearing all the gifts of their suit, if it makes sense. And here in this case, the page also, I'm definitely getting like a new beginning, a new project, but from a very witty perspective, like a very smart approach. And not smart in the sense of outsmarting the world, because there could have been tension about the fact that you could have felt like the world was not collaborating with you. That's the message which is coming through. But it's definitely like being smart about your role in your life. It's like, no, you don't have to figure out everything. It's not your role. It's being smart and humble about how you're doing it. So it's like pursuing a new project, and in this context, pursuing this new project, but from a very intelligent manner. Yet again, the intelligence to the service of the most efficient path. And as we've just discussed, the most efficient path may not be about the mind. In this case, it may not only be about the mind. It's like I genuinely feel you like on this new project, which is very fiery, which is all about reigniting your spark, but this time from a very smart perspective, where you understand that all of these limiting beliefs that told you that you were to always do, to always bear, to always be tolerating the situations, like way too much stuff is going on within the mind. And that is not helping anything nor anyone, especially you. That's definitely what I'm getting, is like new project, yes, but this time we're actually going in a very smart manner about it. Smart because we're not only using the mind, we are using the mind for what it's designed for. And we know when it is time to just let go of the mind. The mind cannot figure it all out. That's the kind of intelligence I'm getting in this thing. So that's, and I'm really sensing from this card, it's like whatever you've been thinking about, whatever project you've been thinking about, you totally got it. Like, let me tell you that it's like you're on the right frequency to hear it. Yet again, it's like you 100% got this. However, you are realizing that yes, in the past you may have been used to creating all of these things, pursuing your goals in a very mental way, working your way through the tension, despite the tension, and you have, I would say, like grown or expanded. You have changed so much that the old ways of doing no longer suit you. It's like, why would you do it how you used to do it back then, that was so tense and felt a little terrible sometimes, when you know that there is such a better way to do it? As soon as you are aware that there's such a better way to do it, you don't want to be pushing through the resistance anymore. And so now we got the Emperor. The Emperor is a very, I'm getting here a very masculine energy, obviously. But it's very like, the sensation I'm getting from this card is like control. You are completely in control of your experience. You are completely within the creator's seat, the controlling seat of this beautiful project that you're birthing, not because you are freaking out and grasping onto it with your mind, but because you are completely aware of how it's done. No, not everything is for you to do. Not everything is within your control, and you're aware of it. And it's very much like this idea of knowing when it's time to do, when it's time to be, when it's time to give, when it's time to receive, rebalancing it out. It's like you may have been in a very masculine energy in the past, and now you're realizing that no, the feminine actually has a very important spot. Oh, I'm hearing an interesting message. If you're here, pile 1, chances are in the past you were very much in your masculine, as in always doing something. If there's something that you want, well, you're gonna have to take the actions to make it happen, despite everything else. The world doesn't align for you, doesn't matter. You have to push through it and do it. That's a very masculine way, unhealthy masculine, but still masculine way to do it. And back then, I think that you used not to understand what the heck was the role of the feminine in life. So like, I don't see how the feminine energy would get me anything, because if I want to get something, I just gotta do it, and that's it. And right now, because of this beautiful situation that happened, you realize that no, some things are not within your control, and the best possible outcome is not always the one you can do. Sometimes the one that you will surrender to, let happen, allow yourself to receive. And that's why I'm sensing like such a wiser perspective emanating from you on this project, as in, you're gonna totally kill it, you're gonna totally nail it. However, that which you're going to nail may not be what you originally thought about. Perhaps it's even better, but perhaps it's something you didn't think of before. And perhaps not everything is to be done. Some things are just to be allowed, some things are just to be received. And I'm thinking with this new perspective, you are in complete full control of your situation because you're acutely aware of what control is and what's the space of it. You are in control because you're aware of what's going on, including the places where you do not have any control, which is a very interesting message. So it's like, it's a very, very positive energy I'm getting from this. It's just like a few readjustments that you are currently experiencing through this stressful, tense situation, which happened for your greatest good, and which is like launching you, propelling you in a new direction, one which is much more aligned with, one which is much more efficient, one, my God, 1, 2, 3, one in which, there you go, you feel much more in control. So that is beautiful. The Revolutionary Trust. Well, I think that closes the reading pretty darn well. The Revolutionary, we were talking about like with the Ace of Wands and with the Seven of Wands especially, like you having such a spark, such a fire within you, such a passionate idea that feels like it was antagonized. It just feels like the world revolving wasn't really aligning for it. It feels like you had to protect it. You would feel burdened. It just feels like it was being smothered. And all of a sudden, boom, we understand that which it is teaching us. We are ascending. We're gaining back ourselves and thus the control. And we're doing it this time in a completely different way with a completely different approach. And we're revolutionizing it. We are showing ourselves that we can do it, although the way that we do it today is completely different than the way we would have done it yesterday because we're no longer the same person. And yesterday's methods are no longer up to date. They're outdated. So we're not doing that anymore. That's why it doesn't work anymore for us. Now we're doing it in a much more efficient way, one which is much more authentic and easy, and it feels downstream. That's what I'm hearing. It's like it feels in the flow. It feels so much easier. There isn't this much burden anymore, you know? So yeah, revolutionary. You are doing everything. You are reigniting it, and you are doing every plan, everything that you wanted. It's all happening differently. Through this inner revolution, you are revolutionizing the way you are, the way you're doing, and everything happens in a different way. So that is beautiful. And definitely the spark is definitely coming back. If you've been feeling like the spark was a little hidden away, my God, will it come back on? Trust. It's definitely like what we had with the Hierophant. It's like you are understanding that not everything can be understood. That the universe is infinite in nature. Our mind is far from being infinite, and the universe has no obligation to make sense to our minds. And that's okay. You just gotta trust it. You just gotta surrender. You know? And this is really one of the biggest lessons I'm hearing that you've been mastering through this situation, whatever it is. But yeah, get ready for it to all happen in a beautiful way that you would not have expected. And get ready for it to be I'm feeling like so much more ease. It just feels like the end of trying to paddle upstream. You're not fighting against the current of the river anymore. You're just going down, and you're realizing that, yeah, the river takes you in a direction you would not have expected, but one which is a million times better than anything you could have imagined. So that's really this beautiful energy where it feels really like the masculine energy that you were very much used to is reuniting also with the feminine. And that is beautiful. I really love this for you. So yeah, thank you so much for having shared space with me. That was a lovely reading, very empowering one, very exciting one. My best of luck and lots of love for this situation, especially if you're still feeling that you are in this stressful situation. You got this, trust me. It's not just here to mess you up yet again. It's always happening for you. So yeah, I'm just wishing you the best. Let me know down in the comments how it went for you, by the way. I'd love to read about your thoughts. I would really love, love, love. And yeah, I'm sending you so much love, and until next time, see ya. Hey Pile 2, how are you doing? You're up, welcome. I hope you're excited about, I hope you're curious about this message as much as I am. If Pile 2, if you chose this beautiful pyrite, that's going to be your reading. So let's not waste any more time, let's get to it. Okay. What is Pile 2 on the right frequency to hear today? Shuffling, going hard. A few more cards. This one wanted to come out, this one wanted to come out. Do we need one more? No. Yes, we do need one more. There we go. Got them all. So, we have, what are you on the right frequency to hear, my beautiful Pile 2s? We have the Knight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, sorry. Got the Eight of Wands, the Ten of Wands, okay, Four of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, Queen of Cups. Interesting. Do they all fit on camera? Yeah, that's good enough. Whoop. There we go. Okay. Where do we start? I'm definitely sensing you're aiming at a dream. You're aiming at a star. That's what I'm hearing. But you seem to feel trapped somewhere, or not being able to do it. There are a lot of energies getting through. That's why I was a little confused at first. We're gonna start here. We're gonna go like chronologically. Feels like we begin with the Nine of Pentacles. I genuinely do feel that you are in a point in your life where you feel good and dusted, in the sense that you feel abundant enough, you feel safe, you feel just like a cat which has at its disposal all the birds and mice it could dream of. Do you feel that your needs are more than taken care of? You feel financially stable and secure. You feel materialistically taken care of. You feel like that's good. That's good. You may feel in control of it. You may feel like you're being taken care of. Whatever. It's just like from a material point of view, you're good and dusted. That's what I'm getting. And it's like from this perspective of your material life, you feel real good. You feel like you're leading a very pleasant life, pleasurable life. That's what I'm feeling. But somehow it feels a little hollow enough to go on YouTube, to Google, to search for readings to understand what's going on. It's like I genuinely do feel that you're in a point in your life where you feel materially in a very comfortable position, if it makes sense. But you are on the right frequency to listen that you've been feeling hollow, kind of hollow for a reason. I genuinely do feel like it's like when someone looks at your life, they're just like, well, you got everything. What could you be complaining about? but in your heart you still feel like you're missing something. And interestingly enough, it's like I genuinely do feel that this card is the kind of pace, news, information, generally a very optimistic card, but I'm genuinely feeling that here it's just like lately you've been showered. I'm hearing showered by a shooting star shower. At the time I'm recording it, we are experiencing shooting, like a lot of shooting, like a shooting star season. But that's besides the point. I'm genuinely feeling like, yeah, I don't know what's the parallel with the shooting stars. We'll see. I genuinely do feel that in your life there's been a lot of things which have come into your life, a lot of messages, a lot of seemingly random events, a lot of little unusual bits and bobs here and there in forms of people telling you things you were not expecting, some news. I generally do feel like a lot of very tiny like details, but you were not expecting them, and there have been so many details like that, so many little things left and right that it's just starting to be very obvious that something is up in the air. It's not just once or twice that we're having a little hiccup with this person, or there's just some news which are very weird, non expected at all, which come and change our plan. It just feels like little annoyances coming here and there from a lot of different places. I just feel like this imagery of a lot of little arrows falling a little bit everywhere in our life, and it's just like it doesn't really feel like the end of the world at all, but it's like it's a little annoying there, a little annoying there. It's not expecting. It's like by itself you wouldn't even notice it, but it's just the amount I'm feeling, the amount of little annoyances which is starting to grow heavy on you. Definitely. And it's just like I genuinely do feel that perhaps you're starting to feel a little like you're carrying a little too much on your shoulders. I'm hearing that, but more it's just starting to accumulate, it feels like. I genuinely do feel that, yeah, materially talking, you are very good, in a very comfortable position. I mean, keep on hearing comfortable. But it's just like you, inside, you still feel a little bit of sadness, a little bit of, yeah, some kind of a void within. A little sip of water. And you, but it's not something that you've been focusing on. It's like, yeah, you feel a little weird within emotionally. I generally feel that it's your emotional body which is experiencing this hole. But it hasn't, as much as it's bothering you, it hasn't fully grabbed your attention. It's not something that you're really paying attention all that much. It's like there's a lot going on in your life, and it's much more interesting to be focusing on the things which are happy. It's like, yeah, that's fair. It's more than understandable. I genuinely do feel that it's not something you've been focusing on at all. The fact that you feel a little weird emotionally talking. But there's just, yeah, a lot of little annoyances happening left and right, which are just starting to build up a form of heaviness. And I'm generally starting feeling, especially with the imagery of the Four of Pentacles, like we start feeling trapped and we start freaking out a little. It's like I'm generally sensing that we experience a lot of things not going our way, and then forcing us to adapt and adapt and adapt to a degree that we just realize that we cannot keep on adapting this much anymore. There's a point where it's like, I'm sorry, but I can't adapt. Like, what the hell's going on? How is it that all of a sudden everything seems to be turning to shit? Like, what the hell is going on in the sky for all of these little annoyances to appear? And I genuinely do feel that in your perspective, it's really like you really don't get. It's like all of these little annoyances, they seem completely disconnected from one another. That's the crazy thing. It's like a lot of stuff is happening which is bothering left and right, but somehow there is no connection between all of these things, and that's the craziest thing of all. But all of them together is just starting to make us feel heavy. It's like it feels like it's getting harder and harder. We're accumulating some load on our shoulders, And yeah, we're starting to feel a little smothered, a little, yeah, like we're carrying a bit too much at the moment, because we're just trying to adapt and adapt and adapt, and it's like it's not working well for us, to the degree where we're start to feel a little powerless. It's like we don't understand what's going on. I genuinely do feel like there are some emotions which are coming up, emotions we're not used to feeling, which is why we're starting to freak out a little bit, because we're not used to these emotions. We don't understand why we're feeling this way, and it's just happening all at once. And I'm literally hearing spirits say, that's your gift. Surprise, surprise. It's like it's a bit of a gift, like a blessing in disguise, more rather put this way. I'm genuinely sensing them. Here we have a lot of cups to end the reading, a lot of beautiful cards, but it's just like you've been walking with the hole within your heart for a very long time, but you've been ignoring it, you've been postponing it. And now life is just reorganizing itself to push you into feeling it. And it's just that, because of the fact you have suppressed it for so long and so effectively, in order to really bring you into feeling it, you really gotta get triggered. And the universe is bringing out the big guns to eventually get you triggered. That's what I'm getting. It's like a lot of little annoyances that you are very good at coping with. It's just that the amount is growing heavy, and that heaviness is making us feel like we're freaking out. And the reasons why we're freaking out, I'm hearing, is especially because we do not understand why we're feeling this way. It generally feels like you see your life as very good and dusted, and we just feel this way, and we don't understand where this emotions is coming from. We feel like we have no control over it, and we just feel like we're going crazy, which is not the case, let me tell you that. And you're on the right frequency to hear this is normal. Nothing is going wrong. It's just that this is because of how resistant you were to feeling yourself, feeling your heart. The world organized itself to make it easier for you to feel. The reasons why you freak out is because you're feeling something within yourself that you're not willing to see. If you open up, you're going to start to feel it. That's what I'm hearing. Another thing that I was getting earlier is owning. For some of you, it's definitely an emotion that freaks you out. It's like, I genuinely feel your mind freaking out. It's like, oh my god, I feel like I'm going crazy, something is wrong with me, I need to go to a therapist. I mean, if you feel like it, you can, there's no problem with that. But it's just like you're freaking out because you are not allowing yourself to see what's beyond. What is the emotion behind it? The freaking out, quote unquote, is the mind which is failing at coping with the emotion. But for as long as you're suppressing the emotion, you only perceive the freaking out. If you allow yourself to say, okay, I'm freaking out, that's okay, thank you, mind, you very visibly will not give me any answer. Let's see what's behind the freaking out. What is the emotion which is making my mind feel like it cannot cope anymore? That's one thing. The other thing is, for some of you, it's definitely feels like an emotion that you've been suppressing because you feel powerless to it. It's just like, oh yeah, I've been feeling this way for a very long time, but I've just been ignoring it and going on without, just suppressing this within myself because I just feel like it doesn't depend on me. I feel this way because something outside of me goes this way, went this way, whatever, but I have no control over it. So what's the point of feeling the emotion? I just feel like you're not wanting to dive into the emotion because you're scared to enter some downward spiraling loops, and that's why you would be resisting the emotion, which I totally get, like on this point, totally. And that's where I feel like the owning, it's like the universe is really pushing it physically so as to help you identify exactly how you're feeling and why you're feeling this way. And I'm literally hearing, somehow it's relevant for some of you, if not a lot of you. It's like you cannot change that which you do not own. It's like perhaps what you're thinking about when these emotions pop up, that you feel like you're powerless to, it's like you do not have any control over that. That is true, that you did not control how these things went. You do not control how these things are going. There are things which are outside of your control. That's true. The way you're feeling, though, is totally within your control. These emotions exists within you, was born within you, and will eventually flush away from your body. Your emotion doesn't leave your body. It's like, sure, you do not control what's going on outside, but your response to it is completely within your control. And that's what I'm hearing, is like, each time you're feeling this emotion, you're saying, I'm not gonna listen to this emotion because what's going on outside. And the thing is really here, like Spirit's coming in through saying, you need to detach from what's on the outside. Yes, the situation sucks, the way you see it, that's totally understandable, but the way you feel is not. I mean, you see it as like as one coin with two faces. On one side there is your emotions, and the other side there is the event that caused them. And you feel like they come together. It's just two faces of the same coin. Spirit is saying that's not the case. You have what happened physically on one end, or what is happening physically on one end, and then you have your response on the other, your perception of it on the other. I'm literally hearing is like, you will not be able to shift the way you feel, to shift your response, for as long as you do not own the way you feel. And you refuse to own the way you feel. You refuse to own these emotions because you're putting them onto what's happened outside of you, which you may not have control over. Yet again, there is what is outside of you and you do not have control over. And then there is what you're feeling in response to it. Your response to it is yours and you have complete control over it. It's like dissociating the two and re-owning your response, re-owning your emotions, owning yourself in this situation. And generally do feeling that the reason why you're suppressing this emotion is because you haven't unentangled them from the event that causes them. So that's a very specific message, but perhaps it is of help. And then we have these two cards there. It's just like, I genuinely do feel that, as I was saying, you've been wishing under the shooting stars. You've been having some dreams which are emotionally fulfilling. The 10 of Cups is the card of absolute emotional fulfillment, you know? And I genuinely do feel that you've been wishing for something very beautiful. But what I'm getting is also the fact that you are in the right frequency to finally hear this. Is like, what you are wishing is, it feels very, I'm not saying it in a judgmental way, you understand? It feels very naive. It feels very disconnected from reality. And I'm generally sensing is like, oh, I wish, it's generally feeling like wishing that the external circumstances would do something for us. Whereas in this situation, we're obviously feeling powerless to what's happening outside of us. And that's why we've been wishing for it for a very long time, and it's just not happening. And that's just not your lesson. That's what I'm hearing. It's like, the reason to why the situation is not unblocking is because you are meant to re-own your power in the situation. You're meant to stop throwing your power away, disowning yourself, disowning your emotions, giving up on yourself to the external events. It's like, yet again, there is what is outside of our control, and then there is us, how we felt in response, how we are responding, and that is completely within your control. You need to unentangle both. And I'm literally sensing is like, you've been dreaming for your external situations to change in your favor, which, I'm sorry to report, will not happen. Something that you already know. You already know that. That's what I'm hearing. That's why it feels like, I was about to say it feels stupid, but I mean, there's no point in judging that. It's like, it feels like denying the truth, which you already know. You already know that it's not gonna go your way, because there's something so much better. You are not meant to wish for the world, for the external circumstances to go your way. You're meant to love yourself first. It's like the Ten of Cups, which is one of the most positive cards in tarot. It's like absolute emotional fulfillment, which is the opposite of the void that you've been feeling. I'm really sensing is coming from you falling in love with yourself and realizing that it doesn't matter what's going on outside of you when you love yourself. Of course, there are things we prefer. Of course, we have likings and dislikes. Of course, we want to have a relationship with the external. That's not about that. It's just this void. You are claiming that this void is due to something outside of you. This void exists within your heart. It doesn't exist outside within these external circumstances. And that's definitely what I'm saying. Is like you've been wishing for ultimate emotional fulfillment, and that's what you're gonna receive. It's just that it feels challenging at the moment because you are in the process of realizing that you need to re-own this emotional fulfillment that you've been wishing. This emotional fulfillment is not something that will be handed to you. It's something that you're meant to realize is within you. It's a void within yourself that you are the only one who can feel. And I understand that it feel very challenging at first, but trust and believe me, you're on the right frequency to hear it. You got this. You're gonna get to it. Even if it's a little slow, even if it's one baby step at a time, you are shifting perspectives. You are realizing, you are ascending in your levels of consciousness so as to see what the hell is going on and how to better tackle it. And to realize that, yeah, the story has always been about you owning yourself, you falling in love with yourself, you living your best life within you, you know? Realizing that happiness is not something external. Emotions only exist and reside within your body. It has nothing to do with what's happening around us. Oh yeah, but if something around us happens, then it makes me happy. That's not actually true. When something happens and we feel happy, it's because we are completely accepting what's happening around us. If we feel unhappy related to what's happening around us, is because we're not accepting, we're not validating, we're finding that it's not okay for this thing outside of us to be happening. The way we feel is just our response in our beliefs, in our assumptions about what's happening around us. Your emotions do not leave your body. And that's the thing, it's like you cannot possibly shift the way you feel if you do not own it. Emotions are molecules in the air which are produced by someone around you, by an event, which traverse the air and travel through the air, enter through your nostrils and get into your body. Oh, that's why you feel happy. No. An emotion was born and dies within your body. It does not leave your body. That's why it's like you have full control over it. You have full control over your perception, over whether you accept or not a situation. But that's the thing, is that you cannot shift the way you feel if you do not own it. That's the very thing I'm hearing. The Queen of Cups is definitely who you are becoming. You've wished for emotional fulfillment, and that's definitely what you're getting, but what you're gonna get out of it as a whole is something much deeper. The Queen of Cups is really like the energy of someone who is a master of their inner realm. It's a very intuitive, very sensitive person, very tapped into their sensations. But it's also in this context, like we have the two koi fish, like one black, one white, representing the yin yang. It's like someone who feels so deeply at peace within because they have mastered their inner realm. They have mastered their emotions. Doesn't matter what happens outside of them, they're happy because they know what it means. They know what are emotions. They know how to play with them. They completely own their emotional reality. They have mastered it. And that's definitely who you're growing into, I'm hearing. So that is beautiful. I'm wanting to bring out one or two oracle cards. But yeah, that's a deep message, and I hope it makes you feel a little better. I hope it helps. a redo. These cards wanting to come through. No, there are way too many. Whoop! Well, this one wanted. The Buffalo Spirit and the Turtle. The abundant universe will provide slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race is definitely relative to yourself. It's like your transformation, your transition into the Queen of Cups, the version of you who is such at a deep level of peace, who has such a deep level of emotional maturity, which simply means awareness of your emotions. You are mature when you're completely aware of something, and when you are aware of it, you are in control of it. That's just how it works. You are in control of that which you see, of that which you're aware of. This emotional maturity that you're developing is definitely like something that you have to have patience with yourself. You have a backstory. You know it better than everyone else. There's no point in beating yourself up. You are the way you are and you know why. Yes, there are some things to be released, and it comes through learning to own the way you feel, and it is painful, it is not pleasant, but it is aligned with your best self. So it's like, let yourself off the hook. That's what I'm hearing. You may be experiencing being a little too harsh on yourself. That's what I'm getting at. Like, it's okay if it takes a little bit of time. It's okay if you're not feeling all out amazing straight away. It's like, it's a process of, I would say, quote unquote, growing up, rediscovering what are our emotions, learning how to own them, learning how to play with them, learning how to master them eventually. But you cannot expect a baby, an infant, to become an adult in one day. Perhaps you feel like you're emotionally immature as of today. That's okay. If no one has taught you, and if you haven't realized it before, how the heck could you possibly ever know? It's like, stop being this unfair with yourself. Stop being so harsh on yourself. It's like, honor yourself. It's like, it's a beautiful discovery, one which has been triggered by a bit of an uncomfortable situation. I'm gonna give you that. But hey, if that uncomfortable situation was needed to make you realize that it was needed, then bless it, okay. But now it's just be patient with yourself, love yourself through the process. Yes, it won't happen overnight, but there's no point in it happening overnight. Yet again, when you're maturing up, when you're growing, when you're discovering new things, you do not learn a new skill in one day. It wouldn't be fun otherwise. And the abundance a universe will provide, I'm definitely hearing that perhaps the situation that you've been feeling powerless towards is something that would make you feel scarce relative to something. The Four of Pentacles definitely deals with scarcity and lack mindset. So whatever it is that you would feel scarce about, probably not your material world, but still, perhaps it would be relationships, as an example. Whatever you feel currently scarce about, you will realize that the reason to why it felt scarce is because you are putting yourself in such a powerless position towards the outside where you had no control. You were displacing all of your power, that through this process of re-owning yourself, re-owning your power, discovering about your emotions, learning how to feel, you will realize that there is so much to go around actually. It just needs a little tweaking in your frequency, a little tweaking in the re-owning of all of that which you are. I'm also hearing that this is what will make you feel whole. You've been feeling this void within your heart, perhaps. The answer to that will be, and is, now you understand, completely re-owning your sensitivity, completely re-owning your emotional side, re-owning your heart. And that will make you feel your best. That is the thing that will make you feel the best. By then, all of the things that you would have wished in the stars before, you will realize wouldn't have made that much of a difference. But this thing, yes, that thing will make you feel blissful. So I'm very excited about that. I wish you all the best with this situation, especially if it feels a little stressful at the moment. I wish you to appreciate the discovery, the inner journey, the discovery of who you are, of your beautiful sensitivity. And yeah, let me know down in the comments how it went for you. I would love to read about your thoughts. I'd love to know if it resonated. And yeah, I wish you all the best. Sending you all my love. Until next time. See you. Well, hello there, Pile 3. How are you doing? You're up. I hope you're excited about the message. I hope you're curious as much as I am. If Pile 3, if you chose the beautiful moss agate, that's going to be your reading. So let's get right into it. Okay, let's start with the tarot. What are Pile 3s on the right frequency to listen, to hear, to receive? What is Pile 3 on the right frequency to hear, to listen, to receive? Let's get to it. So we got 5 tarot cards here. We have the 7 of Wands. No, 7 of Swords, I'm sorry. The 4 of Wands. 7 of Wands, there you go. 6 of Cups. And the World. That's cool. Well, let's start. The 7 of Swords definitely deals with feeling betrayed, feeling backstabbed, feeling antagonized in a way that feels dirty. I'm getting. I don't really have a context for this energy, but it's definitely like you feeling betrayed, backstabbed, antagonized, and yet you breaking free, celebrating your success, celebrating your ascension, breaking free from the chains and just taking your first flight. Perhaps not the first, but just like a baby bird who for the first time flies on its own. There's a sense, there's a sense of feeling like we've been backstabbed. I don't get very precise context to it just yet. We'll see later. Perhaps we'll bring in the oracle cards sooner than expected. I'm generally getting the sense of this energy of you feeling like in the past you were backstabbed, betrayed, antagonized, and that's really something that motivated you almost to prove them wrong. And along the journey, you just realized that it wasn't so much about them as much as it was about you. And you just ended up just taking your first fly and ascending and creating something so beautiful out of your life. Coming to a place where you're so proud of it, you're just celebrating it. And with the 7 of Wands, I generally do feel like you shining bright, so proud of, standing tall, so proud of yourself, repelling. Just feels like, you know, like this hand with this bright golden sun within its palm, repelling and shattering all the envious ones around. I genuinely feel that, it's like you've rise so big, so bright that you've just repelled and you've just shattered everything that was antagonizing you. It almost feels like a vengeance in a way. You know, it's like along the way you understood, it feels like something that happened over a decently long period of time, but along the way you realize that it wasn't so much about vengeance, it wasn't so much about proving them wrong, it wasn't so much about them as much as it was about you and just your happiness and your ascension. But there's still somewhere within ego that feels good in feeling like you achieved what they told you you wouldn't. And so it's like, it feels like sweet vengeance in a way. But I'm getting this sense of this story, but it almost feels like all of it is already behind you. So perhaps this is the context that we're having. It's like, it genuinely feels like a storybook that I'm reading about your life, something that already has happened in the past where you felt betrayed, you rose above it, and you ended up repelling and shattering all that which wasn't aligned with you, standing proud and tall in the spotlight, shining bright, and sending to hell everyone who was trying to antagonize you. So that's already something. But then why do we have this as context for the current emotions that we're experiencing for the Six of Cups? Well, if I just had, I don't know, looked at the following card, maybe I would have had my answer. It's just like Six of Cups is a sense of, it deals with childhood, it deals with our past, it deals with nostalgia, feeling nostalgic. It deals with innocence, it deals with many things, honestly. But in this case, I'm definitely sensing that you're on the right frequency to hear that it's time to start re-owning something. I just feel like somehow this white ra is calling my attention. It's just like you felt at the time you felt betrayed and backstabbed. You felt very innocent still. You felt very young. You may not have been that young, but within that context, you could have been a child, literally. But within that context, whatever is popping up in your mind right now, you felt very naive and innocent. You felt very, very innocent, very naive in this situation. That's adding, and that would add to the pain that you felt when you were betrayed, and then all of the story that we just went through. But it's just like, yeah, now it's the time to go back in it, because it's like you're very proud of what you've done and you've celebrated it, and you should celebrate it, because honestly, good job on you. You know, it's like, congratulations for that. But it almost feels like there is still this sense of vengeance. And the only reason why you would still feel this sense of vengeance, there's nothing wrong with feeling that way, first of all. Just gotta make it clear. But it's indicating me that there is still the hurt within. If we still feel like we gotta get a form of vengeance, to me it feels like we haven't forgiven ourselves for what we experienced. It's like we're still feeling the hurt of what happened. I'm definitely feeling with the Six of Cups like an invitation to go back in time and reintegrate. The fact that this event led you into becoming who you are today is beautiful, it's magnificent. But now it's like you can enjoy who you became while also enjoy the person you used to be. I just feel like in order to become who you became today, you had to abandon the version of you who was so innocent and so immature at that time, because that wouldn't keep you safe, very understandably, in the situation. It's like this ascension that you experienced was made possible through you stepping into a much more adult, mature version of yourself, perhaps maturing very quickly, and suppressing this part of you that was immature and who did not see it coming. And now, as you are, I genuinely feel like, especially with the World card, the World card deals with wholeness, with completing cycles. It's like the world, it's a sphere, it's complete. There is no beginning, there is no end. I genuinely feel like you're completing a cycle, a beautiful cycle, and it's like you've done all of this, and now it's time to close the cycle. It's time to go back to where it all began. That's what I'm hearing. It's like it's time for you to go back there and to reintegrate the immature version of you that you were when it happened, when it all began. This version of you who's so immature, who feels so immature, who feels so naive, who feels very optimistic. And I genuinely feel that I wouldn't be surprised. I feel that some of you are feeling a little resentful to this version of you, because if you weren't this way, probably you would have seen it coming. And the truth is, you're probably right, let's be honest. But I wouldn't be surprised if some of you feel resistance towards this part of you, because this is the part of you that would make you feel unsafe, completely understandably, once again. But I'm genuinely feeling that in back then you had to give up on this part of you so as to get over it and become this, and that was what was needed at the time. But today you're starting to feel emotionally the drawbacks of that. It's like, sure, you became this, but now you're missing on you're missing on a form of emotional fulfillment. You're starting to feel a little hollow. I'm hearing it's like you're starting to get sick of feeling so serious all the time about it. It's like, sure, you're on top of your game, but it's just starting to grow heavy on you, and that's because you're closing the cycle. It's like, yeah, you've done that, that's amazing, now it's time to go to close the cycle, to go back to where it all began yet again. And it generally feels like, yeah, reuniting with this version of you who was so innocent. Because I'm hearing some of you are like, why would I do that? It's the version of me that makes me feel unsafe, which is understandable within this context, but it's just like this version of you is bearing so many gifts that by giving up on this version of you, you gave up on the gifts as well. That's what I'm hearing. You threw the baby with the bathwater, so to speak. And yet again, it's like there is no regrets, there is nothing. It's like it happened how it had to happen. There is no denying that. But now it's just realizing that this innocent, perhaps a little immature, perhaps very optimistic version of you comes with a lot of natural optimism, with a lot of natural faith in the universe, faith in the surroundings. I wouldn't be surprised if you're someone who had a hard time trusting. Anybody who has a hard time trusting life, wouldn't be surprised about that. And it's just this version of you does trust life naturally. This version of you has this natural optimism to it. This version of you perhaps is in touch with a lot of your passion. I'm generally sensing, especially we have like fire cards here, so you definitely nailed it when it comes to passion and excitement. But now you're entering a new phase of your life. You're closing this chapter where it's like, yeah, sure, but I want it to be even more. There's something missing there. I want it to be even more fulfilling, and that's definitely there. It's like some of you may feel judgmental or resentful towards this part of yourself. Yet again, that's understandable. That makes complete sense. Just understand that it is you. The mind may play these games with itself, believing that it's not you. It is you. It is a piece of who you are, which is just longing to come back to you, to come back into unity with everything, the whole of who you are. And that's definitely what you're on the right frequency to hear now. It's like you're closing the cycle, which is beautiful, because I'm genuinely feeling, with the world card here, I'm genuinely getting the sense of, well, completing the cycle as I discussed before, but also coming back to a sense of harmony. The world card, we have like depictions of the 4 suits of tarot, and I'm definitely feeling like you coming back in a state of harmony, you coming back in a state of balance, you coming back to a state of peace, of natural optimism, knowing that everything's gonna be okay. Just a feeling state, a state of being, which is much calmer, much more peaceful, much more balanced, much more authentic, honestly, much more authentic to who you are. So that is beautiful. But yeah, so much peace I'm getting out of you closing this cycle. I'm honestly feeling that it's just a matter of you having the courage to spend time with this version of you that you may feel a little resistance at first to be present with it, but very quickly you will realize how good it feels to come back to the self. Very beautiful messages. That went quick, so I'm definitely curious to have more messages with oracles. I'm going to start with this deck, actually. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful message. I'm generally sensing, especially considering the cards that we have, I'm generally sensing that you got it. You completely got it. It's like, I'm just telling you what's going to happen because you're doing it already. I genuinely feel that you're already aware of this situation. You're very aware of your story, and you're very aware that right now you're feeling pulled to go back there. And some of you are like, yeah, but I don't want to go back there. I've already seen like why I thought I was over it and blah, blah, blah. It's not about that. It's about reuniting with the self. Reuniting with the self. It's not about re-feeling these emotions. You have visited this thing probably 1,000 times by now. It's not about seeing what happened. You already know what happened. It's about reuniting with who you used to be and realizing that it's okay and that it wasn't your fault, and you should be safe. You should be feeling safe being this way as well, you know? That it's okay to feel this way. I'm hearing. So instead, it wins the race. Be loyal to what you love. Life is a mystery. What do we have here? I'm definitely sensing like a coming back to simplicity. I feel that you have nailed this part of your life, but the more time passes and the more you feel that the ways you used to live, the ways that used to work for you no longer do, and that now life has become seemingly complicated, complex. It's like it just feels complicated to be happy, it feels complicated for things to go your way. And it's like, why did it used to work so well back then and now it's not working anymore? It's just you've expanded, you've grown up. It's time to pick up the bigger t-shirt if you're not fitting in the old one. You grew up, that's it. What used to work no longer does. Now there are better ways, more updated, up-to-date ways to live your life, ones which are much more easy, much more in the flow. And that's definitely what I'm getting from this card. Is like so much flow, so much feeling like flowing downstream, like feeling at ease, feeling at peace. Life is a mystery. I'm definitely getting you like comfortable with not knowing. It's like, although from this cycle, I wouldn't be surprised if yet again you have a hard time trusting and that you're very much enjoying being in the perspective of I control everything, quote unquote, control everything, until you realize that you don't control and you don't control that much. But that's okay. It's like you being comfortable not knowing, you being comfortable with the idea that you don't control everything, because reuniting with your truth, you realize that you are loved, you are taken care of. Even if it doesn't make sense to the mind, you're good. And from this state, from the state of surrenderedness, from this state of flow, you're completely okay not knowing anymore. It's like you're okay if you don't know. If it's okay that things may be obscure at first, you know that it's gonna go well in the end. And it just feels like such relief, honestly, such a sigh. Be loyal to what you love is really like you, again, like you coming to the simplicity of your heart. Like you don't have to be hard, to have such a strong shell around yourself, to be protecting yourself, because just in case someone may betray you once again, it's like you're good, you can relax, you got yourself, and the world got you. So instead it wins the race yet again. It feels like flow, it feels like ease. And these are beautiful energies which are just entering your life, which are very authentic to who you are, entering your life as a result of you accepting this part of you, which is, as I said, a part of you. It's not just something to be pushed away. It's like you won't be feeling good until you accept who you are for who you are. And this seemingly immature version of you is the one bringing all of these things back into your life, actually. Is the one bringing back into your life this state of flow, this state of things just work out for me. Because I'm optimistic, because I trust, because I know that things will work out. And guess what? They just do. So that is a very interesting, a very beautiful, beautiful message coming through. Yep. I'm laughing. What do we have here? Surrender. Oh, really? I feel that that's been something you've been mad at for the longest time. People telling you, you just gotta surrender. Oh, fluff you. Stop saying that. I just feel so annoyed at the sight of this card. It's like surrender. Like surrendering is not something that you control. Surrendering is not something that you say, okay, I must surrender, so let's surrender. The mind just goes like, what does it mean to surrender? Surrendering is not a doing. Surrendering is not an understanding. Surrendering is a softening. Surrendering is a allowing. It's an allowing. It's a surrendering. It's a softening. It's a receiving. All of these states are much more they're much more present within our sensitivity, within our feminine, all of which are found within this part of yourself that you're reuniting with. That's why it just feels like such a beautiful cycle that you're closing, because it's like you became such a strong, self-led, beautiful person, and now you're coming back to your truth, unlocking all the other aspects of life, it feels like, from your perspective, which are much more feminine, which are much more like being in the flow, letting things happen. And the career, I genuinely feel like you will discover that it's much easier to create the life of your dreams when you are not in the perspective of, I have to make it all happen by myself, and I have to make everything that I want happen by myself despite the world, because I feel like I'm against the world. Besides freaking you out, I don't think you're going to achieve anything with that. So yeah, these are beautiful, beautiful cards for you. Just surrendering, surrendering to yourself, surrendering to your truth, surrendering to the truth that I'm not even going to try to explain to you, because I feel that you very well may be in your mind relative to these topics. It's like I need to try to understand what it means. I understand I need to surrender, but I don't know how to do that. I'm not going to explain you what it is. It's up for you to figure out. And the best way to figure it out is to, yet again, reunite with yourself. But yeah, beautiful. And the creator, once again, it's like creating your life, weaving your dreams into reality, but from a completely new perspective, the one of allowing this, like using our masculine, our actions, our will, our drive, our decision making, so as to create a very strong intention, and then our feminine to allow it to happen, if it makes sense. I hope it does. But yeah, that was a beautiful reading. I just realized the cards were not completely in the frame. Whoops. Oh, there you go. Surrender and the creator. You can see them now. Yeah. Thank you so much for having shared space with me. Let me know down in the comments if it resonated. I would love to know. I'd love to read about your thoughts. And yeah, honestly, you got this. Congratulations on what you have become. Enjoy the homecoming. And yeah, I'm sending you lots of love. Until next time. See ya. Take care. Hey, pile number 4, how are you doing? You're up. Hope you're excited. Hope you're curious about the message as much as I am. If pile number 4, if you chose this beautiful tiger's eye, that's going to be your reading. So let's not waste any more time and let's get to it. Okay. So, pile number 4, what are you on the right frequency to hear at this moment? There's 2 ones. What are you on the right frequency to listen, to hear, to receive? Yep. Let's see. So, something like that. The Magician to begin the spread. Okay. We got the King of Swords. Temperance. Whoa, that's a lot of major arcanas. Wait a minute. The World. And the Four of Swords. Well, these are some big cards out here. Interesting. What are you on the right frequency to hear? Well, first of all, the fact that we have 3 major arcana is definitely indicating me that we have big energies, deep, profound energies at work right now in your life. Temperance and the Temperance card and the World card are definitely making me feel that you are currently in the process of closing a lot of cycles, coming back to yourself, coming back home, coming back to your authenticity, coming back to your genuine nature, closing a lot of past cycles, opening new chapters, more aligned chapters. And this homecoming is definitely something which is making you feel much more at peace. I'm feeling like, yeah, closing old chapters, opening new ones, and shifting your energies in a way that feels so much easier and much more at peace. Coming back to yourself, coming back to your heart, coming back to peace. That's what I'm hearing. Coming back to a state of wholeness. I'm hearing integration. Perhaps you could have been doing a lot of inner work lately. Not necessarily, but I do feel that, yeah, you've been closing a lot of past cycles, definitely. And that's definitely something that I see, like deep energies, but that's beautiful. It's something which has been going on for a while now, and that you keep on doing, and that is beautiful. Oh, I'm hearing perhaps you do not see the results of that. What's going on with that? Wait a minute. The Four of Swords is definitely indicating me like the calm before the storm or the calm after the storm. I'm definitely feeling that you are currently aiming at feeling peaceful in the now. Okay, I see now. I'm definitely feeling that you are currently feeling as though your external reality feels a little chaotic. It feels like there are things out of control. It feels like things are not necessarily going your way. And it doesn't feel the most peaceful experience that you're having. But the Four of Swords itself is indicating peace. I mean, just look at the card. Isn't it gorgeous? It's like stillness. It's inner peace, inner stillness. I'm definitely sensing that you are much more right now in this energy of not being so distracted by what's happening outside of you and instead focusing on being still within so as to gain clarity and feel peace. And I'm definitely sensing that you have been seeking this inner peace for a while now because of the fact that the external may not be reflecting that much peace at the moment. I'm definitely sensing that, yeah, this energy that I've just been describing, you really unearthing so much of yourself, coming back into harmony with who you are, feeling whole and complete, really coming back to a state of inner harmony, inner balance, to a state of harmony and balance even outside of you. It's like, it's definitely a big theme that I'm seeing in your energy right now. But I definitely do feel that this is not necessarily something that you've been really feeling this way. It's definitely been going on, but if I were to ask you to describe your life, you would probably not mention these things. You would probably tell me, oh yeah, well, these last 6 months have been a complete mess or something along those vibes. And yeah, I've really been focusing on, getting to know myself because it's a thing that I've been seeing in my life and being in a state of stillness within so that I can really learn a lot about myself. And that's really something I appreciated. But yeah, it feels like these last 6 months, this last year, these last years have been a complete mayhem. And definitely something that these energies you may not be completely aware of, which is the ironic part of it. It's like, from Spirit's perspective, it's like you've come such a long, you come from such a way. The words won't come out. What the heck? It's like you've come such a long way. There you go. You've come such a long way, and you've learned so much about yourself, and you've grown so much. You sank so deep within yourself, and you've gotten to know yourself to depths. I'm hearing even that some of you may appear as pretty darn young for knowing yourself this much, and really unlocking so much inner peace. And that is definitely something that the world around you is perceiving. Perhaps I'm hearing something a little random, but perhaps it's relevant to most of you. It's like, perhaps you have noticed lately that a lot of people just stare at you in the street, a lot of strangers, and it's just like you're a head turner, and you're like, yes, I know I'm pretty, but it's like, what the heck is up with that? It's like people pick up on these energies that you're emanating. It's like you're emanating a lot of light, a lot of self-awareness, a lot of peace, a lot of wisdom. It's like you're emanating such a calm, wise, and peaceful energy. to which you seem to be quite oblivious, and that's okay. But it's just like your energy is very much this way, and it's just like it has so much momentum already, and it's gaining momentum and momentum and momentum. The more you remove the clutter, the more you will see it yourself, the more you will realize that yes, this is your core basically. But right now in the moment, it's like the Four of Swords in this context just feels like the crappy version of the Temperance. They're like both talk about peace, harmony, and stillness within, but it's like one is just the Four of Swords and another one is a freaking major arcana, you know? And I'm definitely sensing that, yeah, you've been focusing on this inner peace, not completely oblivious to what is actually going on beneath the surface. And that's an interesting thing, because I generally do feel that the reason to why you feel a little chaotic at the moment is because your external reality feels a little chaotic at the moment. Let me rephrase that. I generally do feel that within yourself, you may feel a lot of things going on, but you are quote unquote on top of it. It's like you're aware of what's going on within and you're doing the work, and you know, it's like it's all good. But outside of yourself, it feels like your external reality feels very chaotic and out of control. That's why you're focusing so much on peace. And I'm genuinely feeling that's because you're still, it's like you've done such an amazing work, but you're still on it. You're still going even deeper. You're still learning even more about yourself. You're still unlocking even higher frequencies to be experienced within your life. And that is a very, very interesting, very cool thing. Because on the other side, we have the Magician and the King of Swords. It's like the Magician is definitely something that you've been wanting. The energy of the Magician is the one which creates the reality. Manifestation could be a word that rings a bell. It's definitely like feeling powerful within yourself, feeling powerful within and creating your life the way you freaking want it. With the infinity symbol, knowing, being in this elevated state of consciousness, being in this elevated frequency where you realize you're aware that anything is possible, and creating your life just the way you want it. This is definitely something, a level of feeling good that you've been aiming at, something that you've really been seeking, especially with this Four of Swords. It's like you've really been wanting to get there, to get to this place, to get to this version of you that you see in your dreams that feels so confident within themselves, so powerful within themselves, and who's just that person who is on top of their game, but not in an arrogant manner, just in a very humble, peaceful, and happy way, you know? And that is very sweet. The King of Swords definitely telling me that you're coming to conclude. Like the King of Swords is the final card of the Sword Suit, which represents like the ultimate state where you are completely aware of your thoughts. You're completely aware of your mind. You know how your mind functions, and you have balanced it with your heart. It's like this state of, yeah, awareness of your mind, awareness of your beliefs. Not saying that you are enlightened and you know everything there is to be known about yourself. That's not possible. There wouldn't be any point in living in the first place if that was possible. The pleasure is in the journey, you know, in discovering always more. But it's just this energy where it's like, sure, there's always more to get to know about yourself, but you already feel in a state where you know yourself pretty well. You're pretty aware of your beliefs. You're pretty aware of what's going on within your mind, of your perspective. You're pretty aware of why you wouldn't feel good in certain situations. It's just being aware, seeing clearly within yourself. I'm hearing it feels like an internal work at the moment, definitely. But yeah, seeing within yourself, and that's definitely the energy that you are currently in. It's like, it's not that these energies are withheld from you. They're part of you. It's like energies which are emanating from your core. You're just not seeing them because of the work that you're currently doing and all of these emotions and beliefs which are getting purged. Well, it's clouding a little bit. It's distracting you at the moment, so you don't really see it. But the light is here. They're just clouds in the way, which are coming up because you are purging them. And on the other end, it's like this thing, this beautiful thing that you're so desperately wanting and feeling, this state, this higher state of being, this best version of yourself that you're aiming at, pointing at the stars, it's not being withheld from you. You are well on your way to there. It's just that right now it's like you are in this, you are doing the work. It's like you are becoming aware of yourself, of what's going on within. And I'm definitely sensing that the reason to why the outside feels chaotic is because it's greatly facilitating this inner work that you're doing. Yeah, it's like some of you get upset about what's going on outside of you, and again, it's like it's not meant to stay this quote-unquote chaotic. It's not meant to stay in a situation that you don't prefer it. It's just that right now it being this chaotic is very serving you, because it's really highlighting all of these clouds that you are wanting to reintegrate, all of these clouds that you're wanting to get to know about yourselves. It's really like you sinking deep within yourself and becoming the master of your mind realm, which is a beautiful thing. But yet again, this external chaos is greatly facilitating that. That's why it's there in the first place. But it's like beautiful energies that you're in, beautiful energies you're aiming at. It's just like the message I'm hearing that you're on the right frequency to listen is, I know it's easier said than done for some, but don't bother too much about what's going on around you, because that's not the point of your life at this moment. At this moment, the thing which is the most important in your life is not so much the mess which is going on around. It's rather this King of Swords is like you becoming the master of your mind field. So it's very interesting. I love these energies, like very deep, very beautiful energies that really make me feel like energies of self-mastery, definitely. So we're gonna pick up some oracle cards. Thank you. Just one from this deck. Okay, we have the hummingbird. Very cute card. Be here now. I'm definitely sensing that. Perhaps I'm generally sensing that this process that you're currently going through is just going very smoothly. It feels hectic, it feels chaotic. Okay, I hear you. But overall, this process is still going very smoothly. It's like you got this. Your situation, your circumstances won't stay this way forever. The only purpose for them to be there in the first place is to facilitate, to facilitate the process you're in at the moment. But yeah, and it's just like when you got this, and an invitation from Spirit is just like be present with yourself, because perhaps that is something that would make the process even easier, even faster. Perhaps one thing that you could see as quote unquote slowing down a bit the process is when you try to cope yourself out of it, when you try to deny these emotions. So, being present with yourself really helps with being present with what's going on within. So that's one thing. And just a reminder to enjoy the present moment. That's all there is to be enjoyed in the first place. So just an invitation from Spirit as a general, enjoy your present, for this is the only thing there is to be enjoyed. But yeah, that's a sweet, sweet message. Let's see what else we have. This one, and this one. This one wanted to come in the middle, actually. Oop. And we have here trust, death. I love this card. Take risk. Oh, interesting. With the trust card, I'm definitely sensing like, you feeling a little bit stressed and nervous about your outer circumstances, which is completely understandable. I'm generally hearing the universe saying, trust, these circumstances around you have a purpose, and now you understand what it is. What is its purpose is just to assist you in your evolution at the moment. That's it. So if you accept the path that you've chosen for yourself, which is the one of self-mastery at this point in time, you'll very quickly see that as soon as your environment has stopped serving its purpose because you have done the work that it was bringing up to the surface, well, these circumstances will disappear by themselves as quickly as they came into your life. I'm literally sensing, yet again, a calling to detach a little bit from what's happening around you. I know, yet again, easier said than done, but it's definitely like it's the universe saying, we got you, don't you worry. The Death card, I love this card because it's just such a strong card. Just like in Tarot, the Death card is such a strong card of renewal. It's literally like letting go of an old version of ourselves, which I'm totally seeing here. Like with you stepping into this energy of the King of Swords, it's like you letting go of this older version of you who you could see as more immature, less authentic, knew themselves less in depth. Yeah, someone who knows themselves much more, someone who feels much more embodied, much more centered, and letting behind these old ways of being which no longer serve us. So that is a beautiful, beautiful card. I'm very happy it popped up. It's like, yeah, you're becoming someone new, somebody brand new, much better. Take risk. It's a bit of a side message, I feel, this one. I'm literally hearing like, dare to dream big. I'm feeling that some of you are a little stuck on the external situations, as in what's happening outside of you is stressing you a little bit. I'm hearing that, yet again, first of all, detach a little bit from it because it's not what it seems. Its purpose is not to freak you out, but also dare to dream, dare to act on your dreams. That's a side message for some, but perhaps not for everyone. But I'm really sensing that some of you are postponing some of your dreams for no actual reason other than fear, you know? So again, that could be relevant for some of you. But just know that whatever dream you're wanting to bring to life as the creator, whatever dream you're wanting to manifest, the universe is supporting you. So yeah, there's that. Ooh, really nice reading. That was a lovely reading. Thank you so much for having shared space with me. I hope this was useful. I hope it feels that you feel a little better. Let me know down in the comments if it resonated, how it went for you. I'd love to read about your thoughts. And yeah, I'm wishing you all the best with your ascension, wishing you all the best with your homecoming, sending you lots of love. Until next time, see ya. Take care.